else that was very traumatic for you happened when you were out there in California? Can you tell us about that?
Well, I got hurt doing some night driving, and kind of went through windshield. Put me in the hospital for a year in San Francisco. Everybody thought I was dead, gonna come home in a casket and whatnot. Even well, after I woke up, they told me, said, we didn't think you was gonna make it. And I said, I didn't think I was hurt that bad. I just got on up and couldn't talk and couldn't know how to move around. I was unconscious for about 2 months. And paralyzed for about around 3 months after that. About 3 months after that, they worked with me. Got me back physically ready.
Right, a lot of physical therapy,
Right,
and then
right.
some actual head injury,
Yeah.
the trauma that been done to your
Right.
brain and all of that. And that's what we call a praying mama. Your mama Eileen, she's praying for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to just.
See, my head was big as a basketball.
Wow.
And it was a sight to see. I was up there in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
Presidio Hospital.
At the time, did you actually get to go to Vietnam yourself, because you're there recovering in California? I think they had ended the war by the time, so they ended Vietnam by the time.
Well, because I was coming out when I went in, and we was getting ready to go over there to clean up. Okay. And besides, I had 3 brothers on the suicide already over there, so I ended up stateside anyway.
So. And later we may have an opportunity to hear. I know we're definitely going to hear from Robert Elliott Jr. We're going to hear what his experience was like there. But that's why you had, because Mama Eileen had the 10 kids. So I know we had yourself and Robert Elliott Jr. And then we had my Aunt Alice Faye. Right. And then Uncle William Timothy Elliott. We affectionately call him Uncle Timmy. And then Uncle Bob. So it was but 5 of you all actually served. So you had 5 of the children that were all in military service. Right. And now when you came home, the interesting thing is nowadays, whenever we go out, people always give you honor. They always say, thank you for your service. Whenever you go into a restaurant somewhere, and people will send over gifts to the table, and they'll say, we'll look up, waitress will send stuff over to the table and say, sir, someone just sent you this over here as a gift because they want to honor you for your service. And I am amazed at that, because when you came back out of that, it wasn't like that when y'all were first coming back, though, from California, come back home. The servicemen were not always honored. So what was it like for you when you were coming back home, and as opposed to now, from now until then, what was it like?
Well, everything, I kind of kept to myself at the time when I first came back, and had to get the family squared away, because I was also thinking about home and trying to get my house, car, and everything. So I'm most on my mind, but it was still rough. For us, crazy and stuff. But I had a job when I left. I was working at Goodyear, and so after about 4 months of rest, when I got back, I went back to Goodyear and retired Goodyear textile mill. Yeah. Also, so I spent 8 years in service.
Yeah, that's right. Goodyear out there at that ATCO part of Cartersville, employed a lot of people.
Making driver for tires and stuff whatnot. Okay. Yeah.
You came back, just focused on the family.
Yeah.
And went back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us what are you up to now these days? You are officially retired.
Yeah, I know, officially retired, but I need a job so I get some rest.
Well, you do a lot in the community.
Yeah,
so tell us about even being involved with you're involved with the American Legion now.
Right.
Tell us what that's like for you now.
Well, right now, I'm involved with the American Legion now, trying to keep up on what's going on with the vets. And I also do funerals, honor guard funerals for all the veterans that passed. And we do all over. We went to, we've been for Atworth, to the town, all the way up in Dalton, with Rome and Alabama, different stuff like that. And the National Cemetery up in Canton, we do old funerals. But now, most time, anywhere they call, just about to go.
And that's an amazing service. And you all do the parades. We've seen you at the parades, the Bartow parades, and other special events around town. Because my dad loves dressing up his uniform. That he can still fit, y'all. By the way, he can still wear that fits for the most part. So that's good news, right? After all these years,
I don't have to change 2 or 3 times.
I had to let out a little bit, so you can still wear it a little bit. I get you. Okay, we're finding out now. And then, do you actually would you say that I heard about you guys having the boys' state program?
Right. We also got the boys' state. The boys' state now they have to be like 11th grade. They also have a 3-point above average to go, and 11th grade going to the 12th. And then we got girls' state that don't they don't have to do much. It don't matter how old they are, they can still go.
Okay, so the
And
high
they
school
ain't got to have a
girls
certain age.
can be 9th through 12th grade.
You got to have the 11th grade.
Oh, okay, they still have to be in the 11th grade.
Have to be in 11th grade. They don't wait till 12.
Okay.
And have a 3-point average above.
Okay, have at least a 3.0 or above, which is a B average or above. I love that you guys do that program because it's a program where the boys can go to a camp where they learn some skills, life skills. They get to have fun too, but it's kind of like a man camp type of training where they learn from the soldiers.
Right.
Certain
And we
life
also
skills.
have got Sons of American Legion, so people can bring their sons in, and they can also join the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Also, and like Sons of American Legion, that can be anybody that had parent, sister, brother, daddy, granddaddy in service. They can also join, and they can also help out. And it's really educational.
That is amazing. So that's great for people to know that for your sons, your daughters, they have the boys' state and girls' state, and I really appreciate that because we know that culturally other women around the world are not given the opportunity sometimes to get educated like the men. Sometimes they don't have the opportunity the same as the boys. So I love that y'all have that program for the girls to do that, where they can just learn and become just educated and for all kinds of life skills. But like you said, the sons and daughters of the American Legion can also can just get involved, and they can learn the history of what their parents and grandparents have been through. So tell us what you would like for them to know, this next generation. If you had a closing thought, what would you like for them to know? What would you like your
I would like for them to know that service is not always about killing, fighting going on. You could go to service and be a preacher, technology, engineer, a cook, anything that and transportation, just anything else aside just going in to fight. You be trained for that, but you're not always enlisted for that purpose. And just a better education too. Once you get out, you got opportunities for jobs and
college
school, save your money, get out, get your home, whatnot. They won't be out here, trying to sling drugs and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take care of your family and whatnot.
That's right. I appreciate that because I remember when you came out of service. What I remember is that you came home with the money because we were over there like in like the Fairview Circle area, but you came home and that's the money that you had for us to buy our first house. You came home and the military provided us with that. Yeah, that helped us out a lot. So thank you, sir, for your service. We certainly appreciate you taking your time to be with us today. So we will have another interview with my uncle. Some of you may know him in the community, Mr. Robert Elliott Jr. Stay tuned for that. Peace. Wow. Yeah.
Defenseless, so they can talk, so they will talk peace.
Render them defenseless so they can be in a position to talk peace.
Talk peace. And so that's a part of one. Again, but my stay there was kind of good for me in a way because I learned that being a medic in the field, they call me Doc, and therefore I had to take care of both white and black, and also the enemy as well. And so even after the enemy got wounded, I still had to bandage him up too if he was shot. And after I took care of people first, you know, I took care of American first. Then if he was laying out there, I had to go out there and take care of him as well. So again, and one of the things on hand, I think one of the most outstanding, I guess, when I was there, like I said, 3 things they wanted to do to tear down the morale of the company. That is, first of all, they wanted to kill all leaders, because if we had no leaders, then they figured that they would make confusion. Next thing is communication. So we couldn't communicate with anybody to come in and help us. They wanted to kill radio man. Second, thirdly, they wanted to kill the corpsman, the medic, because if they get the folks depressed and knowing that they don't think about it coming to help them, they're gonna let them die.
So you were a primary target, being a medic.
A medic, yes. So they gave me a bodyguard to kind of help me to maneuver so I can take care. I guess we would say they gave that was like 1 for the many, and so they would sacrifice the personal bodyguard so I can take care of the many. And so that was kind of like, but and also we didn't have prejudice there. And one of the pictures I got, you know, they prejudice because the enemy used that picture that since they know what's going on in America, the riot and the marches, they would always say, y'all black folks don't need to be here. Y'all need to be in America. And so that would kind of keep a confusion. And they were trying to leave little leaflets that when we walk in the field, we would see that. And also when we see that, that would create some animosity in some of the people. And then of course when we get back to the camp, that would automatically sometimes fire up. But what they did back in the camp, there's one thing good about it is they had to we had to keep it with it because you couldn't turn loose your gun. But they took all the bullets away. So you couldn't, nobody killed about it. But also amazing too that I loved about, I guess about war, is seeing that when we all went to battle, black and white, we was together. We took care of one another back, same foxhole. And so, and we really, you know, we was together. We might have had to tell us proud. But I love that. That's one of the outstanding things that I guess I can understand, being able to work together in a combat zone and come together and fight one enemy. And so again, that was exciting. Of course, again, the bodyguard, and I saw what I guess.
They were there, bodyguards trying to protect you, but then something happened to you anyway.
Yeah, because they knew that was a great possibility. And we see that these black folks that, one thing about, I guess I enjoyed that too, because they were unified. And one thing about it, wherever you were, or could have press, if you met one, and you see their crowd there, whatever they had, it was yours. When you come out of the field, so if we needed something, bread, food, or beer, or something like that, well, that's another thing they did too. They in Vietnam, because of they knew they didn't allow nobody under 18 to drink beer. So they went in the camp, they couldn't drink any alcohol but beer.
Wow.
So that was always kind of depressing, the fact knowing they were ready to get their life and they couldn't drink beer. The reason why, I understand why, because they was trying to keep violence out as well and keep them to fight amongst one another.
That's right.
But so that was outstanding too. So but we see here, and that's what they did. They had a unit, and of course we see again music. Some was able to have their own music while we come back and sit at the camp and relax. So again, we see that we did have jazz and guitar, and so they played blues and also country western. So they had all this stuff on our retreat. So we enjoyed that. And see, we didn't come back geared out, so we're ready to go out and come back ready to fight. So just coming in and resting, and again ready to go back. Cause when we was in, and one thing about it, and we thank God we had to walk all night long, then come in and rest and go right back out again. Because again we were, and one thing about it, when we got attacked, we would all come together. So that was a good thing in Vietnam. And one thing about being a medic, because of the fact that our doctors and our priests couldn't make it out in the field, so I had to be all that, plus the doctor, the medic, which would took everything, do first aid basically, but I had to also do some operations. I had to also do what you call when somebody dies, you had to go do a analysis to what killed them. So we had to do that too, to find out how that person got shot or killed, and make sure we have our own
from like an autopsy,
yes, we had to
type of thing to see why they were killed.
So we had to find out whether the enemy shot us or whether I was on bullet shelters, and sometimes we have on bullet. And one thing we was always afraid of, especially at night, what the enemy would also do, would find out if we had a company sitting on one side of the creek and coming on the other side of the creek, they would sneak in between us and come out of the cave and shoot on both sides. And then we'd think there was an enemy, and we'd be firing on one another.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we take them
there,
on.
oh my goodness. So being there, you all had to be very mindful of the tactics
Right.
that they were using against you to pit you against one another.
Right.
Even using the politics, the racist politics of
Right.
America during that time.
Right.
Wow. But I'm so glad to hear you say that you all had to do what you had to do to come together anyway.
Right.
You know, black and white. Because what are you gonna do when you're in the same trench together?
Right.
What are you gonna do? Right. We're gonna make sure that we get a picture shot of these, some of your photos and things you have to show people. Yeah.
Here we got them where, I don't know if I got it here, but it's one, at the advantage of what they would do when we did have some retreat, the guys would bring some of the Vietnamese in, and they were sick or need a bandage, and they bring them in, of course I have to fix them up and do lances like that, rises and stuff. And I would also take care of the Vietnamese too. And I guess another bad thing about being there, we never knew who our enemy was. They all, and so somebody could get in a compound and shoot, and we would know who did it. And so that's why sometimes somebody would just get mad and shoot the whole compound up. Of course, that was a mistake, because our idea was not to destroy the people, but to keep them from fighting. So we had to go and try to find in, but that was hard to do, and nobody told us who shot.
That's right. And that's the tough part about being an American on that type of foreign territory, because Vietnamese people, they may look alike to you, but we were sent there, the United States, to help. It was in an effort to stop communism. So we were with South Vietnam to come against the North Vietnam and that spread of communism. But you don't know if they're with the North Vietnamese or the South Vietnamese. You're saying y'all couldn't tell. Couldn't tell if they were part of the North or the South.
Well, we could tell the North.
We could tell the North.
Of course, they was the ones that worked with the Southern that was fighting, but the North, they were different kind of built like.
Oh, okay.
But so you could tell them when it was there, we would tell when they were there, but you couldn't tell that the Vietnamese that were really fighting with the North.
Okay,
so
couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell.
The
Yeah,
Vietnamese that was fighting with the North.
Yeah,
you couldn't tell.
So yeah, you can go in the camp, and if you wanted to fire or throw a grenade, we couldn't tell who did it. And so a lot of them people got killed because we had to start shooting, trying to get that one person that was firing us or shooting us. So that was.
But now tell us about it, because when you talk about the shots going off and the firings and different things happening, you yourself had a very traumatic experience. Tell us about what happened to you, if you're able to share that.
Well, yes. Well, one thing I did learn to be obedient. I guess I learned that. They taught us, and I guess our sergeant taught us to build a foxhole. And so I think they got rice paddies over there. And so we was in a compound just like this room here was square. And so you can go all around, and had hedges around. We couldn't see on the outside, but like there was sort of protection because they were all inside. But the rice paddy was probably about that high. Oh. And so they planted rice and okra and dikes. And then summer had got it. We had one house on the corner that one night the enemy slipped in, because we was all sitting in that square and started firing. And all we could see was machine bullet coming after us. And of course they got them bullets that come, they got a tracer, which all you see, and the tracer let them know what it's shooting at. And so cause it shines red fire, so they know when to shoot off or shoot on. So all we could see was that. And so all we had to do, because we didn't obey, we was friendly, it got pretty friendly. And so we didn't obey and build our foxhole like we're supposed to. We just slept on the ground. But then we had to dive behind the rice paddies in order to keep the machine gun from shooting us. And
diving behind the rice paddy at the last minute.
At the last minute. Yeah, because they was about high enough to cover your body if you lay flat. So we learned from that. So we learned to obey the war zone.
Were you stepped on were you trying to dive away from the rice paddy when you stepped on the minefield yourself?
No, minefield. No, we were doing this. We thank God for that. And I thank God because again, it taught me, one of the things leading it taught me to work with all religious folks. And one of the things I guess, when I went to Vietnam, I guess God did let me go home first. So when I got to Kingston, Telluride, and then they didn't want to go to Vietnam. So when I got to Kingston and told them I was going to Vietnam, white and black, they was going to hide me. And they was going to go AWOL. But this lady who I left in Maine gave me a picture of Jesus Christ and said, "You're going to Vietnam, so go to Vietnam and take this picture with you, Jesus Christ will bring you back." So I was able to go there and carry that. So, and I think I remember that on the day I got wounded, we had to walk the right road for Mine Street, because when the trucks and the people walked through the day, the cars, we had to make sure they were right over the mine. And so what happened when I was going to the mine, that particular morning, the lieutenant did something very different that normally he wouldn't do. He stopped, we always walked it just like this room, he went down a road straight. And then he had 4 people on the line and next to the wall, so there was woods that would walk the woods in case the sniper would snipe. But this particular lady, we walked so far, and the lieutenant decided, to pull a guy that was in the bushes that's walking to come up and take my place. And I jumped on the side, so the guy and Danny started marching, and the guy that walked 15 feet, and I'm 15 feet from the barn. 15 feet, he got blown up half in two. And of course, because I was just 15 feet away, I got first-degree burns, busted eardrums, and also traveling in the right eye. And so, but so again, one thing that also blessed, I was still, even though I couldn't get up and somebody to take care of me, I was trying to get up and take care of the person, but I could see he was blown half in two. And so and I knew God was with me because that, but the guy, I think we thank God, because I think the guy that got blown up was really a Christian. He was really saved. So we thank so.
And he was ahead of you by 15 feet.
About 15 feet, that's what he was. That's where we marched, so that if anybody got wounded, it wouldn't take out that many people. So 15 minutes, 15 feet apart,
feet away.
and 15 feet back, 15 feet on the side, so it would not take a minute out, yes.
And you still got part of that shrapnel?
Still got part
of the shrapnel?
Yes.
And how long did it, and now they were very concerned making sure that you would stay okay to take care of everybody else, and you starting to still take care of other people that might have got hurt. And then how long did it take you to recover your physical therapy and get you?
Well, I don't know if recovered yet. but because I still have a problem with the same problem with the ear and the eye.
Are there still effects of it today that you experience?
But it took me to actually 6 months in Yokosuka, Japan, there in the hospital before they even drove home, and then told my family I had got wounded. So 6 months over there, and then I came back to Charleston and stayed 6 months. That's when they told Mama then that I was in the hospital and recovering, and so forth. Not to worry, because they came down to see me. But I say altogether, it took at least a year for me to get halfway back recovered. But then while I was in Charleston, I may have to have an operation when I was in Japan, Japan, but also had to have 2 operations on my eye in Charleston, and also 2 on the ear, so to recover my ear back. And also when I got out, I had to have 1 down at the VA. And so it's still kind of recovering because we have problems in these areas.
And we certainly thank God for so many of our veterans. We never know the wounds that they carry on the outside and on the inside. So many scars, and in addition, so many emotional sacrifices that you guys have had to go through. So again, we thank all of you, the men and women who have served in all the branches of service, for just the sacrifice and what you've been through. And tell you were alluding to this before, and I love that you told us that story. Even when they wanted to try to hide you and make you go AWOL before you even got enlisted good, they're gonna help you go AWOL to avoid it. But she said, you said you got the picture of Jesus from one of the.
It's over one of the ladies in there, a Catholic, matter of fact.
My goodness.
Yeah, so that's why I know. I said, God, everybody in the Catholic Church is not somebody say, thank God, somebody
it's one Lord, one faith, one baptism.
That's
right. Heaven's not gonna have these different, whether you're Catholic or Presbyterian or Baptist, we're not gonna have it's all one family in the Lord.
Yeah, Lord.
But we wanted to and you mentioned it a little bit, but how did your faith carry you through your time in the Army? Just wanted to touch base on that. How did?
Well, I think it had a lot to do, because I did manage to visit different religions, and while I was in the service on Sunday morning, I was able to go to Protestants and Catholic and a couple of others, Lutheran, and just see how they conduct that service. And so again, and working with some of those was great, because we all work, especially in the war zone, we all have one in mind to cause that person to be saved, cause that person to have a good attitude while he was in the war. And so that was, and so it kind of helped me to kind of not condemn in religion, but be able to try to work with them. And of course, I believe in Jesus Christ, but be able to let them. I got this religion. Just like I believe we got the best service in the world, we got the best armed forces in the world.
And see that's amazing, because that gave you an opportunity to not only experience different cultures and ethnic backgrounds, like you said, but then you were being exposed to those different religions for the first time as well.
Yes,
that
yes.
gave you just to share, like, from one human to another, and to just to show the kindness and the love of Christ to somebody anyway, regardless of some other like title of the religion. So tell us now, what are you up to now that you have retired officially from the Army? Are you involved with the American Legion, or what do you do now? So tell us what you got going on right now.
Kind of involved with American Legion. Every once in a while I do serve your daddy by being a chaplain, and also going to the funerals and times to give honor to those. And also when I got out of service, one of the things I want to do is help young men to better life, because that's why I started off. So I really became a big brother, a foster parent, adopted parent, and so to work in those areas to help. And now I think also I wanted to since I want to help family, because that's very important, to help the men to know how to deal with their wives and bring the children up as well. And I don't think and nobody wants to send their children to war. But so how do we deal with that too? But also to love our country enough to be able to know that freedom is not free. So we might be enjoying life here, but somebody's fighting right now, and somebody's looking to die just so we can get freedom. So I'm kind of involved, and also in the hope that we can teach and encourage our church folks that pray for our military, pray for our police officers, for their God ministry as well. They're doing the job. And so just like military folks doing the job, they may not understand. America might understand, a lot of them, especially Vietnam, may not understand we're fighting for their freedom. And those folks over there want to come over and take over America and put them in slavery that they can get this for. And so it's good that our country can go and fight in foreign countries, and they have them come over here and start doing the same thing, that you can't go anywhere. Can't buy anything in this store unless you have to have a visa or something, or either they separate you and your family, and so we want to kind of share that. And spiritually, of course, we want to teach it as much as we see this here, that these young black men work together. What's mine is yours, and we can work together.
Right, stay focused on what we can do together.
We can do work together. And so I hope that we can instill that in the wartime we did this. I mean, it was like, what I have, you have. So if you're hungry, I got food. So if you come out of the field, you've been in war, whatever you tired of, we've been resting, you can have what we got, and you can share what we got, so that you go back to the field, you'll be ready to fight. Be ready, but we'll fight here.
And you're also a pastor, is that right? Because you stay busy with certain pastoral duties.
Yes, matter of fact, I'm a pastor, I'm involved, and also they have our own church, Elijah Universal Missionary Baptist Church. Also involved in, because again, like I said, I want to church out young men and also young women as well. But basically, we're in chaplain service. We go into the prison also and preach, teach, trying to instruct our young men in prison, and also we have women to go in. We used to do it both, but now God blessed us to have women to go in as well, to teach our women as well. So trying to get them back in society as well. So that's the same thing we'll do military-wise, to not destroy them, but to get them back to be productive in society. And so that's the same thing we'll do in our prison as well, to get them to be productive back in society, not kill, not murder, not steal, not do anything to contrary to breaking down society.
Is that what you want your legacy to be? What would you say your closing thought to this next generation, or what would you really like your legacy to be?
Well, to give life your best, and life will give you their best. Be willing to help others, and also be willing to die for your country and serve others. Be willing to die for others. I think if others more than yourself. And so I think if you could live with that and do that, that it would be a better world, also a better nation, a better people as well.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, thank you, sir, so much for your service and for your time with us today. And I'm telling you, I'm a living witness. Uncle Robert has been such an amazing husband and father, because you have 6 children yourself. Is that right? Is it 6? Is it?
Well, we had 7. One passed away.
One just passed away. You know, my sweet cousin Chris. That's right. And so we know that he is in heaven, smiling down on you right now. But we have been living witnesses to you being the husband and the father and that leader that you've just been talking about. My cousins, his children are amazing individuals. So we thank you for tuning in. Go visit evhsonline.org. It has been our pleasure to bring you 2022, this Black History Month presentation honoring our men and women who have served in the U.S. military.